this year they didn't have enough money for the K two to go after, so we went to and I already go there. Yeah. How did you do?
It was okay. Just working. We did attend the Juneteenth.
Yes, we did.
We've been here. We enjoyed ourselves, you know, and now just to kind of slow down, just trying to put my furniture together.
Okay, and you, Jason?
I had a pretty chill week intentionally. I just went to facilitate one on Tuesday, went to a class at church on Wednesday, otherwise worked and went to the gym. Yesterday, just kind of relaxed. Did go to the movies and see Superhero Friday night.
Was it any good?
It was pretty good. But I'm a superhero movie fan,
Me
so I
too.
might not be the best. I might not be
Because you guys, I like rom-coms, but I do, well, my series was the X-Men. I went to the,
Yeah.
X-Men.
And y'all super dumb.
So my week was also, pretty nice. It was busy. I was setting up, getting ready for the summer camp, the civil entrepreneurship camp. I have a camp, every year. This is our 5th year. Yeah, of having it. Yay! So I was working on getting things set up for the children. So, yeah, that was nice. Yeah. Busy.
Okay, so real quick, the play is Play Deal, August Wilson's, Joe Turner's Come and Go. Very interesting. So, Debbie Allen was producer, Cedric Entertainer, Taraji were the main characters. It was interesting. So, I'm not gonna tell anybody about it, but you will see it.
Yes. Look it up.
Or look it up.
Is it one of Austin?
It actually-
What is August
August
Wilson's?
Wilson's. Yes, I'm just gonna say it was the black men, how they function after slavery.
Oh. That's, okay. Which, oh, that's a great segue,
I know.
though.
Yes.
That's like the perfect
Right.
segue.
We a little bit removed from slavery.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, they sometimes say they're trying to take us back.
And who?
And we are not our grandparents, so keep that in mind.
Right.
We get back.
Right.
So Karen and Ken, whichever color, Karen and Ken. Don't try me, try Jesus, don't try me.
Yeah.
But in regards to that segue, with it being Men's Mental Health Month, well, Health Month, period, for men, you know, that leads to our topic for today. And we are really excited to have you here, Jason. Could you just share first, I'm gonna share, how we actually kind of met,
Yeah.
okay? So, you guys know that I am an advocate for our mental wellness, period. And, I have been fortunate to be a part of the NAMI support group training, so that hopefully we can start having some support groups here as well. And Jason and I were in the trainings together. This is how we first met. And, with us wanting to talk about men's mental health, I just, of course, in our African American men as well, I was like, who else to ask? You being local and right here,
Yep.
a part of Greater NAMI, Greater KC. Yeah, could you just share a little bit of background, like how did you get started with NAMI Greater KC, and then maybe anything else you'd just like to share about yourself in general?
Let's see. Well, I'll start with NAMI. I started with NAMI just coming to a support group. I had just come out of a partial hospitalization program and then come out of intensive outpatient therapy, and I wanted to continue. I needed to continue my care,
Yes.
and I was just looking for like something to do after that. And I just looked and I saw this advertisement, just listening for a support group, and I think I had just gone back, returned to work, and I had a meeting with my boss at the time. This was like in 2018, and the meeting like had my stomach literally in a knot. It's just anxiety, and I was like, I got off work at 6. I'm like, I don't need to go straight home. So I went to that NAMI meeting for the first time, and I was just around people who understood it, and I continued going to meetings, and then eventually I became a facilitator. I got trained facilitated in 2020, and I've been doing that since then. And then a couple years after that, I got certified to be a state trainer facilitator. So that's how I got started with NAMI. I got to high school, and again, everything was pretty, giving a very brief version, everything was pretty cool, but senior year, I wanted to end my life. Because I just felt so much pressure. And I went to a guidance counselor who was African American at school, and I just kind of work bombed in her office, and they got me in touch with the school psychologist. We got through the year, and I think that was like the first time I really thought about like mental health as a better issue.
For those, I just was gonna ask, for those that don't know what NAMI means, can you share that with them?
Sure, it's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. It's the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization. Like the groups that I do and groups that Crystal does, those groups are all free. They're free of charge to the public, and we have people who give speeches about everything from like your mental health to dealing with a loved one that has mental health issues. We have groups for veterans, let's try to have something for everybody.
Yeah, there is.
So with you personally, I'm thinking that now. Well, so with you personally, you said that you wanted, your senior year, you wanted to commit suicide. Had you spoken to your parents and did you kind of tell them what was going on that you had, or you was just?
I was carrying it all inside because, that's just what we did.
Yeah.
That's just what we did until it came to the surface in unhealthy ways.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it didn't get too unhealthy for me, but if I look back, there were some times that it might have, there were some times when it could have gone, left, but I truly believe it was, I'm a person of faith.
Yes, sir.
And I just truly believe it was God, like, keeping me steady, because I still had people in the church in my life, and I still had my church friends and church family, but I still just couldn't, there's just some stuff you just don't feel comfortable talking to your parents about.
That was gonna be my next question, even though you said, like, with your faith and church space. I'ma say it, and I'm playing devil's advocate. Sometimes those are the people that talk about you, so you tend to not wanna say anything, cause it's whispering.
Right.
So why didn't you step to the church?
Because at that time in the church, mental health was not talked about. We were still, for lack of a better word, we were still like, not that I don't believe in faith healing, but we were still just kind of laying hands on folk, and it was supposed to make things instantly better, but if you see in the Bible, there were a lot of times when people had to do work to get their healing, and we weren't there yet.
Yeah, they didn't teach that.
Yeah.
They don't teach that you actually have to
Do
do
the work.
the work to get that healing. The healing is there, the blessing is there, but there's work that you have to do to get that, so.
Yeah, and when I say I talk to people at church, I had like my crew of friends at church, and they were kind of like my anchor, and I had a mentor at church that I would talk to about some things, but my mental health hadn't come up at that point just yet.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that about the suicide ideation, because a statistic here is that men die by suicide at nearly 4 times the rate of women, underscoring the importance of why early intervention and treatment is so important. And then that makes me think about us, like as a community, African American community. It wasn't just churches or masjids, mosques for me. Just in our communities in general, we didn't really speak about it. Unless it was someone you can clearly see, like I have siblings that have been diagnosed with schizophrenia. So unless you can clearly see it, when people are like suffering in silence, you don't talk about it. People either find something else to deal with, or just don't bring it up. Like you say, you just hold it in, because that's just been, unfortunately, one of the negative things in our community. It's like you kind of gotta fight through or be tough, or
Yeah, and my favorite term sarcastically is man up.
Yes, we are quick to say that, yes.
Man up.
Even to our little boys,
Yeah.
you know, young, we start saying that to them young, middle school, teenagers, men up. So, yeah.
There's so many contradictions in our community around, like, just, I think we're getting better, but one of my ones that I usually harp on is like, when a child would get hit for crying, and you're telling the kid to stop crying.
Right.
And it's like,
You just hit me. You just hit me.
Right, yes.
You didn't love Tammy.
Right, it wasn't no.
What
Yeah,
else
hit
you
you like,
want to do?
yeah, it's like, you just hit me.
Yes.
It hurt, and I'm not supposed to cry?
Right.
So you're telling me to suppress.
Right.
Yes, we were taught to
To
suppress.
suppress, yes, we
You
were.
gotta make
You
it
stop that crying.
Exactly.
You just hit me. That was the reason to cry. So, yes.
So true, and unfortunately, a lot of that still happens.
It still
But I agree, we are getting better.
Yeah.
Mental health is becoming more of a topic that people talk about, but it's just still not enough.
Not nearly enough.
Mm.
It has to start early.
Yeah.
It has to start early, and just watched on Friday, because I have kindergartners, and we missed our nap, so they were cranky and they were whining, and so I watched, a parent walking the kid to the car, and he has a squeaky voice anyway, but he was whining, and she was like, "You're not a baby, stop that whining," and I rolled the window down, I said, "Mom, he missed his nap.
If you interrupt,
He
talk.
is tired, so that's why it seems like he's whining, because he's
Mhm.
tired.
Yeah.
Put him in the car,
Right.
he's gonna be sleeping for 5 minutes."
So can I ask you, I know you said you had anxiety when you were in school.
Mm-hmm.
You had anxiety and you were thinking suicide. What pushed you to that point to say, hey, I can't do this no more? Was it something that triggered it?
I want to ask him. He knows he goes
Yeah.
out.
I think it was, the only thing I can think of is just the reality that, I'm getting ready to be out of high school, getting ready to be in college. I think it was just fear and hearing some trauma from just growing up and not knowing how to deal with that. Yeah. So between the transitioning, the thought of transitioning, the trauma that I had to release, I had some anger that I had suppressed too because I didn't find out who my biological father was till I was 16.
Yeah,
Yeah. But everybody around me.
I'm just here.
So that's a lot
I
of,
understand parents doing
stress.
that.
And in my parents' defense, I understand it now, but that's not the easiest conversation I have. It's not like,
I'm Joe and your daddy, but you know.
right. My stepfather wasn't my biological father,
Yeah,
but
you just didn't know who.
I just didn't know who. And I also understand it from my mom's perspective because that's probably some trauma that she didn't
Yeah.
have to deal with.
Yeah.
So I understand it better now at my age now than I was when I was at 16. I was mad.
Yeah.
And I suppressed it because that's just what we did.
And today, and I'm sure it happened back then, I do recall some of the things that parents do say to their kids, not taking it seriously. Oh, boy, ain't nothing wrong with you.
Yes.
And so that's why I do believe a lot of our young males, they keep it bottled up because, if I say anything, then I'm weak. Yeah,
Right. Or it's
I'm
gonna be
weak.
disregarded.
So they're carrying around all this anger, and I'm not saying it's totally it, but I do believe it has something to do with the violence in our city. I could be wrong, but if you're carrying that anger around and feeling like you can't talk to someone,
That's
feel like nobody cares, I mean, you're gonna explode.
Eventually.
It's just a natural consequence. If you stuff something too long, something's going to pop out.
So with, I mean, with, men's health awareness generally, no one likes going to the doctor. I mean, at the point now, I'm, now that I'm grown, like, who knows what they about to find. Like, I can go overweight, oh Lord, I'm not going to do the right plus that. One of my encouragements to help get men just to even do the preventive part is like, if you go and stay on top of it, a lot of the bad part, when you get too late where we can't help you, can be eliminated. So, I mean, how do you reach out to the doctor? Well, because of keep this right.
You might still have to do some of that, but I think it takes, like, I mean, we need some examples. We need to see like fathers these days. We need to see examples. I mean, I know I have my schedule for my annual physical schedule for the last one, and I'll start doing that yearly now, just because I know how important it is. As far as like the awareness of it, I mean, sometimes you gotta be people with some numbers to show them that this is what we have, this is what early detection can do. You know, you can catch a lot of cancers before they get started, catch heart issues before they get started, and diabetes. I mean, because there comes a point when you get to the doctor and they tell you like, there's nothing we can do at this point because it's too late. Not that saying you're gonna get there and find out you're about to die, but there are certain conditions can be caught beforehand.
I was just thinking about me in particular. Cause I have a young man, a son, an adult son. And the stresses of life, you know, sometimes I think, and even us when we were younger maybe, you get so caught up in life. I mean, in relation to the question that we should just ask, what are some steps? Is there something that we can do to get people to that place where they're being more aware and conscious of, I need to go to the doctor? Because I know everybody, when you're young, especially 20s and stuff, you're just trying to make it, you're trying to keep going, and sometimes you're working 2-3 jobs. So, I don't know, is there a way that we can get that kind of?
It seemed like to me once we graduate, they don't go to the doctor. Because you know, as parents, we got to tell.
Yeah.
Graduation come, because I have an 18-year-old, and I'm like, hey, get teeth, you gotta get your teeth cleaned. And he's like, oh, his work schedule. You might not go to work, we go get your teeth cleaned. Like, we didn't have dental insurance when I was going to my mom.
Right.
Like, what teeth you got?
Yeah.
Like, and now the back ain't got no teeth in there. You trying to get an adult replace them. So I'm like, no, you on my insurance for 26. Let's go get these doctor's appointments taken care of.
See, and that's one thing you can remind them that they don't need insurance until 26. That wasn't an option that I had.
Right, we didn't have the
At that
option.
point. But just knowing that you have the insurance, also being sometimes you have to tell them like it's a short term pain for
Yes, for a long time.
for a long term care. Because like I said, you don't want to not go to the dentist for years and then end up at age 30 or whatever with no teeth because you don't want to go to the dentist. And also you have to just have to update on this. I think that we have to understand that you don't have to just take what the doctor says as gospel anymore. You can actually ask questions and remember that they work for you technically.
Yes.
Because I think that there is a lot of, I think there's still some trauma from in the African American community for dealing with the healthcare field because of obvious, or because of some misinformation and some experiments that were done. So I think there is a distrust, and that distrust has to be broken. And part of breaking that is understanding that, hey, you don't just have to, I mean, you can ask questions, and you can take somebody in there with you if you don't feel comfortable
And you get your second opinion.
That's change doctors.
Yeah.
If you don't like the
That's
way
true.
his bedside manner is, you can change doctors. Look in your network and find for those that have insurance. My oldest son, we were having a conversation, I don't remember what the conversation was. He was like, Mom, I think something wrong with me. I said, what do you mean? He was like, you know, what do you mean? Well, this is true. He said, "What do you think?" You know, something, and I told him, I said, it's okay to go talk to someone. Like,
Yes.
you working for, y'all got the greatest insurance. Go talk to somebody.
Exactly.
And you know, one of the things that I do still, with my son is, I still talk to him and I ask him questions. Even though he's grown, I still, you know, are you okay? You know, is everything fine? Even if he lies, the
Yeah.
thing is, I'm asking him, I just want him to know that I'm aware, I'm here. It's okay to talk to me. But if you don't want to talk to me, talk to somebody
Yes.
else if something is wrong. Because I know that, like you said, we didn't used to talk about it, you know, in the black home. But I want him to know he's okay to come talk to me if something is wrong. If you can't talk to me, call your uncle, call your auntie. But it's okay to seek help.
I think that's part of the issue too. It wasn't okay, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Yeah, he got that crazy chick.
That's what they, yeah, it was so stigmatized.
Yeah.
Crazy
so-
chick.
Right, and like, it's not even so much that, I mean, it is very stigmatized, and like, just because you go talk to somebody that don't make you, that's not what makes you great.
Exactly.
Not talking to somebody.
It's gonna make you crazy.
Exactly.
Not talking to somebody is what's gonna make you crazy. It's crazier.
Yeah, because it's gonna end up causing more problems, not just mentally, but physically, it's gonna impact your physical health.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Which is why it all, I mean, it all ties in together, the physical and the mental. That's why I go to exercise regularly, because it, I mean, it gets the positive endorphins going, and like, just walking is helpful. We were talking about drinking water. Drinking water is definitely a huge thing, because in all these industries, I mean, when you sick, when you're physically sick, how's your mood?
It's down, it's
So,
up.
yeah, you made it.
Covered up in the dark. In the dark.
I think that's the same too, and thinking about when people think of getting help for mental well-being as a weakness, when in actuality, you're being more strong and brave and courageous to go to get help.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're just turning that corner from it not being considered weak. We're just starting to get there, but we've got decades, literally centuries of being told it's weakness. So it's taking a while to make that shift, and I think seeing more prominent people like talk about it, I mean, that's been helpful. But we still have quite a ways to go.
I like the fact that there are more male groups, men that are getting together. Support groups. Support groups, you know. I definitely
why it is important for our black men to understand. Like you said, Crystal, you're strong because you're seeking help. You're not weak if you reach out to somebody. If you need to vent, if you need to talk to somebody,
Yes.
do that to be able to maintain living your daily life the way you need to.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I mean, to have like the, like the organized support groups. I mean, I have that, but I also have like some friends, like the church friends I was talking about. We still all talk to this day.
Yes.
I mean, we're in our 40s now. We still talk to this day. We can talk, we can pray, we can laugh, we can
Yes.
cry. We can do all that together. But that foundation started when we were teenagers.
That's good to know. You know, a lot of people don't have that friend that will pray with them.
Yeah.
Go out and keep it in sports, but if you bring your prayer, like, oh.
Oh no, we've been through it. We've been through a lot together.
That's right. Right. You have to have support from every angle. I say, why not use your faith?
But you know, it's you, women, we do it, you
Yeah,
know,
but
it's,
men don't.
no, we're men, like you said, you gotta have that persona, be strong, be tough, you know, but the pray will is like,
Yeah,
wow.
and that's another like another area where we have to break down that stigma.
Yeah.
I mean, in the church, the non-media also has faith that we're trying to get mental health awareness into the churches, and in the African American church, I'll take the things back to Omaha where I grew up, and it's amazing to see like the conversations that are taking place now around mental health that people weren't having when I was growing up in the 90s around mental health. And it's amazing to see that because there's just so much that we just weren't told that we could have, that, I mean, we can't go back and change the past, but we can impact our present. And, like, I've even been able to, like, educate, like, my parents about mental health, my nieces and nephews, my siblings, to just change their perspective. Because, I mean, that's where it starts. I mean, like, your circle of influence, you can start there.
And you know, I love the fact that, like in our church, while we have different ministries, one of the other ministries we have is the women of faith and the men of faith. And that is a ministry that we continue to have because it's like we were doing a book study. We do different book studies. So you got all the men together, they're sharing their experiences and things like that. And I just think that's good because it's a matter of comfort. You have to be comfortable to be able to open up because once again, that's the
That's
of being weak. And a thing that I also saw was in my Sunday school teacher, Sunday school class, we have a couple of young men that were streetwise, that have been out on the streets. And one of them said, just in the middle class, he said, hey man, you know what? I'm gonna get your number and I'm gonna get your number because we need to talk to each other.
Yes.
You know, so he recognized we're fighting that same struggle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to work together so we can heal and
Yes.
talk to each other. You know, and I thought that was awesome to do that.
That is awesome. And it's also awesome that you get older men that are willing to share their failures.
Be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because a mentor I had, Pastor Paul, like he started off as like our youth group teacher, and he told us some of the things he did when he was younger, and that opened us up to him. And I mean, again, that relationship still continues to this day.
That's how you grow, that's how you learn from making mistakes. But some people do portray as, oh,
I'm too perfect.
I've never done
Look, we
anything.
so
I
holy
tell-
and loud.
Right, I told
Yeah.
Austin, I said, do you think I just grew up as an adult? I
Right.
skipped, little baby,
Right.
I told you,
I don't know how your children thought you were perfect. At all. I don't know how or why they would have thought.
y'all think we did stuff and
Yeah.
you being sneaky and
Right,
all
all of
that,
that,
like,
yeah.
no,
That's why we know what you do.
we know it's you. Well, that's why I told Andy, Andy said, am I gonna see you as a freak video? I live like this, I said,
No.
all I can say is, I was there, I was.
Now,
There
we
wasn't
weren't
any
just-
videos. There were no videos around.
I said, you might see me gyrating.
Twerking as they call it these days.
You might see me
Yeah,
gyrating,
it
bro.
was some kids traumatized. I wasn't one of them. But I mean, it was some kids traumatized by it, but hey, that's
Yeah.
We were teenagers.
Yeah.
teenagers, yeah.
Young
Young
adults.
adults, we were doing what we were doing.
And I'm like this saying right here, it said mental health is health.
Absolutely,
Yes.
because
Like this is like.
we take blood pressure medicine, those of us who have high blood pressure, we take president. We take that, and it's no problem. We get a headache. We taking Tylenol, even though some people say not to. I mean, I ain't gonna touch on that too much, but some people say not to take aspirin or
Ibuprofen. It depends on what's good for you is what we typically say. What's
Exactly.
good for this person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, but when it comes to our mental health, we tell people we don't want. It's like we don't want to talk about that. I mean, it's like I take my medicine every morning.
No, that's
It's
right.
part of my routine.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, if you don't want me taking my medicine, it's like, you don't want me off my medicine.
Okay, you haven't seen me.
I don't want me off. Because, I mean, it keeps me grounded. I mean, because there is a chemical component to mental health.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. That makes me think of growing up and with my siblings, when they have, like, as adults, it's hard to you can't convince them or talk them into being on medicine or staying on it. And my mom was a soldier, God, most of you so ever since, Grand Paradise. Because she had to deal with two siblings, like in and out of rehab, not on medicine, back on. So you know, when you talk about being on medicine, it's just a challenge when it's someone that's an adult. Because, like you guys mentioned, when you're a teenager, parents are always taking care of you, taking you to the doctor, making sure you go see your counselor, making sure, you know. So even to think about that for our adults out there, please know that even if you're a person that may have to take medicine, it's the same as taking medicine for anything else. But it's just for me, that was a difficult position to be in because you can't force people either. You know,
No, you can't.
that's the challenge.
That is tough, but you're right, you can't force anybody to do it. But if we continue to break down this stigma that, you know, like, there's probably more people around them that are taking medicine for it than they realize and just aren't talking about it.
So can I ask, even you, Crystal, seeing that you're
Sorry.
dealing with it as adults, is it personal denial? Is that why they don't want to take the medicine? I'm just trying to figure out, what is it why they don't want to take it? Is it like, ain't nothing wrong with me, I don't need to take that medicine? Is that what it is, or?
From my perspective, I think it's more than just that. That is part of it, but I think it's also because they're using that imbalance. They're not even understanding and knowing that they're off. They're in a state of imbalance. They're not. So they're not even seeing that because they're not on the medicine that's helping to regulate all of that, that of course you're going to be off balance. So they're just thinking, I'm fine. But what happened in my sibling's case was drugs came into play. So you know how people, they self-medicate, right? So, yeah.
And also, I think there's times when people do get on medicine and it's not the right one.
That too.
But they're scared to say something because they think like the doctor is always right. And nowadays, you can say to your doctor, I don't like how this makes me feel.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And they can find something else. They can find an alternative, see if something else might work better. So it's like sometimes they're like, well, I took this medicine and it's making me feel worse. But sometimes sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. But there's sometimes when you have to say, hey, this ain't working.
Right, and they're better now, they're, on medications and they're consistent, and my sister, she was the main one that didn't speak up, she speaks up now. For a lot of stuff, it don't feel right, and say, no, I think I need to change it, she's like, I think I need to come, I was like, okay, go ahead then, so I agree, it was because we didn't know a lot of things back then, it wasn't talked about, and I just look at my mom navigated it the best she could, you know, in those moments. Sounds like I hear Shakur's keys, my husband, coming in the middle of the podcast. One thing I did want to ask about, and I know you may not know or remember all of them, I don't always remember all of them just off the top, but what are some things that people can look for if they're concerned with a family member or a relative or someone that may be having some challenges?
If you notice like mood swings, if you notice just kind of like not being like kind of just if you notice like they're not as like outgoing, if they're usually outgoing but they're suddenly not.
If you're outgoing and then you become an introvert,
Or if you're, or even if you're an introvert, you all of a sudden become more outgoing, that could be a sign the other way. Or you just notice that, they're just kind of just withdraw, just move a little bit slower, or you just notice that they're not, starting to not take care of themselves as much as like that they used to, normal. Those are some things that you can look for.
a couple of things, I mentioned the, drug abuse, I think that's, another one we can look for, if they're starting to become more involved in
Yeah.
drinking or drugs or regular, those kind of things. And then, another one is also becoming defensive to, anyone that says like, I'm concerned, maybe you need, taking it as an attack.
Yeah, you're right. That another one is like excess spending.
Okay, I think about that.
But no,
I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from
I'm
experience.
shaking my head, you know, like,
There's a lot of ways we try to self-medicate,
Yeah.
something wrong, we gotta spend it,
and we
okay.
are spending a whole bunch of money that we probably shouldn't be. And we take care of it.
Yeah, didn't pay our bills.
Right.
Went out and paid my bills. So another thing, if a man is listening today and realizes he may need support, but doesn't know where to begin, what are the first 3 things maybe you can step that could encourage him, that he could try to do?
If he's needing help, if he like wants to find somebody to talk to, go to psychologytoday.org.
Okay.
You can find a therapist basically for anything. If you want a black male therapist, you can like specify, you get that specifically. That's how I found my current therapist. She's an African American female, and we talk with me, and it's been great. So you can do that. NAMI.org has a lot of resources. NAMI has a warm mic you can call somebody to talk to. You can also call or text 988 if you need somebody in that moment to talk to.
Not ChatGPT, not
Right.
Gemini,
Not Google it,
not,
No.
no, don't do that.
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
I think that's a trend too, that people search up things to self, like, diagnose
Yeah.
themselves.
iPhone, you can actually talk to your iPhone and your iPhone will literally without
Yeah.
messaging. Yes.
And it's this article on Facebook about a little boy.
I saw a commercial.
The little boy did that, to where he committed suicide.
Oh,
He was on the ChatGPT and the AI stuff, and he actually committed suicide. They're like, come on now. AI is coming, we have to adapt with it, but use common sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's that's what they kept saying, use common sense, and it's like,
That's
It's not,
Yes.
that's
It's
not,
gotta
like
be
you
renamed.
said.
especially now in today's times,
yeah.
common for them is to go to
And
Yeah.
AI.
he's an African American child, and he's like
Common
12
for
or
them is
13.
to go
We
to.
don't have to have nobody Terminator, so that'll tell you everything you need.
About AI. Oh, and that one, what's the one with the house, where the house was taken over?
When it was what?
It was a house that was run by, you know, our AI.
AI.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that movie, but
think
to
that's
the
on
extreme. Huh?
That's on Apple TV.
It's on Apple TV,
Oh,
right?
No Gemini, no Copilot, no AI, no chat.
Not
So giving them the truth.
Not
Not
for your
Not for
mental
your
health.
mental
Or
health.
for regular health, giving them the truth to seek out, like, people that have gone to school, studied, learned, you know, research, they can really.
Because you said you started in middle school with your anxiety was
Yeah.
middle school, so this report was like 12 or 13, and he is African American. So it was, he's a case study where like parents were talking to your children, you know, leaving rooms and letting them just play on the games and stuff, like, no, we need you to start talking to your children. So when you said middle school, and I thought, wow.
Yeah.
It's like,
Start
like you said, the
the
transition.
phone, like,
Yeah. Give them some time.
So, I watched The Shy.
I do too.
The last season of The Shy. So one of the little boys got his phone taken away because he was watching something he was supposed to. So his phone got taken away. He was in like a little group for, it's like two others that are the same age in this group. Well, the mother of the one that took the phone away talked to the other mothers, and they ended up taking their phone away. And so now they're like sitting around and what do we do with our phone? Well, one of the grandpas was like, well, let's go out. So they took them out, they went, you know, did different other stuff. So they're finding other things to do other than to be on the phone, because now they don't have their phone.
Right, and we didn't come up, we didn't, I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't have that option. Even though we had video games and stuff like that, we still was outside.
There is a real thing to being outside. Go outside and play.
Yeah, I was watching I want to say it was a seminar Wednesday about black men getting outside, just like just walking on the trail, or just like touching grass.
Yes, you
You
did.
know, that is, that just makes me think of, we had, Willie, the Fisher Pro Bass. So Pro, a lot of, I know now even my son, they're getting into fishing and going out and doing something like that together in the morning fishing. Anything you can do that's gonna kind of help you get out to nature, you know, and quiet your thoughts, maybe, and just take that time, I think is also good too.
Nobody said, no, back in the day, they was supposed to basketball court and play basketball.
Still do that?
I don't know now, but everybody shoot, they get the argument.
Well, if you're with your friends, maybe.
I mean, if I could do it in air conditioning, that'd be
Okay, so
better.
the community center.
And it'd also be better on my knees, because the seat bed is rough on the knees, but yeah, that's what we used to do that too.
We used to go outside, not only playing basketball, we used to play kickball.
Yeah.
We now have adult kickball, tournaments and teams. So, I mean, you used to
So do we need to start that? We might need to start
adult
that.
kickball?
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
I'm
Look, look, I didn't go in there.
It's my little drawing.
Right.
Can you run for me?
And you know, I also was gonna say, overall, men and women, I do believe it is a good thing to back away from social media and to be off that phone, because that stuff gets in your spirit.
Yeah.
And you see it, because once you click on a video, you just see an algorithm.
Yeah.
Those type of videos come up. And so it makes you either angry or thinking other things. So sometimes you just gotta be like, wait a minute, I need to put the phone down. I need to back away.
Yeah, I take fast from social media so often just because I mean you start comparing yourself to other people, and you start getting less grateful for the life that you do have, and you start thinking about everything that's wrong because you saw somebody's picture, and it's like you saw they new baby, and the baby looking so beautiful, but they didn't show you the picture of the baby that just threw up. The baby just threw up, and 5 minutes later, they didn't post a picture of that.
Or pooped all over the place.
Exactly. So.
And they just had your
I
clean
got
up.
to deal with that for the next 18 years of life. I don't think so. Never mind.
Right.
So those are all great tips, guys.
miss my medicine in school. Because if you're on mental health medicine and you miss a day, it can be bad, it can get rough. So have a refill or schedule, and if you need somebody to help you do that, pharmacies can help you do that. Call your insurance company. I mean, insurance companies are really good, can be a really good resource.
Really? That's the first I heard, but that's good. As
They
far as
can-
like
I mean, you know
reminders
what?
and things like that
You're
too.
paying for it, so make
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
work for that.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I'm gonna call you.
I mean, and your employee assistance program, if your employer has one,
Yes.
if you have one, take advantage of it.
So one last statement, what message would you leave with a man or woman or even a family member that just may love someone that may be dealing with some mental health challenges?
I would tell them to let the person know that it's okay not to be okay, and that you're here for them. You're not gonna like make them talk to you, but just let them know that they can talk to you, and if they don't want to talk to you, talk to somebody. But you don't have to carry whatever you're carrying alone.
Thank you so much. This has been, look, it's gone so fast. Look, we have 2 other small segments that we typically like to do.
Okay.
But we just want to thank you for sharing your wisdom, and could you share information on the support groups?
Yes.
Yeah, so.